It's time to get serious. Time to get serious, everyone. This one is called Absolutely Shreksy. It was published in 2017. Shrek groaned as he thrust two of his mighty ogre fingers into his moist, dirty asshole, causing the bed to wobble slightly as a rapid movements transpiring atop it. Wow, what did I just read? Wow, that is a strong introduction. Now you may ask yourself, how did Shrek find himself in such a peculiar... You may ask yourself, how did Shrek find himself in such a peculiar situation? Well, it all started with Shrek's first girlfriend. Oh, babe, you're so sexy like that. Shrek spoke in a low, husky voice, enough to make any girl's panties soaked. Shrek stared at the sight in front of him. His beautiful girlfriend, Angie, was sprawled out on top of his large bed, completely naked, and returning the lusty gaze Shrek was shooting her. Oh, Shrek, I need your thick cock inside me right now! Angie whined, wriggling in the bed. Shrek only responded with a chuckle and slid off his pants to reveal his 24-inch schlong donga doodle. Jesus Christ. Angie gasped at the sight of the huge throbbing schlong donga doodle. She cringed slightly as a small amount of pre-cum leaked out of the head and dropped onto the floor. And dropped onto the floor with a splat. She cringed slightly as a small amount of pre-cum leaked out of the head and dropped onto the floor with a splat. So Shrek, baby, are you really sure that thing will fit inside of me? Angie spoke, her lips slightly quivering at the thought of his huge donga doodle ripping her pussy open. It's fine, babe. Now open up for your daddy. Angie reluctantly spread her legs wider, exposing her genitals some more to the horny ogre. Oh yeah, babe! Shrek breathed out as he steadied the head of his long schlong at the entrance of Angie's vagina. And when he had plunged in, Angie screamed. Not out of pleasure, out of pure pain. Because when Shrek pulled out, red liquid covered his dick and was oozing out of Angie. Babe, what is this? Don't tell me you're on your... Shrek growled and put his dick out of Angie, who had tears running down the side of her cheeks. Shrek, you ripped me open! And that was the end of that. So Shrek had set out on a quest to find more durable women. Women who could handle his mighty ogre schlong donga doodle. But alas, none could handle the power and intensity of the dong. Every time Shrek engaged in sexual intercourse with a tiny bit of hope, whoever was on the bottom would not split open. But they did, and Shrek was forced to look at the sickening, bloody mess, which was all his fault. So Shrek thought long and hard, like his dick. What mighty creature could handle his dingle-dong? Shrek sighed. No matter how long and hard he thought, he couldn't find a suitable mate that was up for a good fuck. All of the ogres around who could handle him had boyfriends. Shrek growled in annoyance. And then, the thought of cloning himself came along. What? He was so desperate by now that he'd fuck himself. But how? Unless... Shrek sighed. It was worth a shot. So here he was now, on all fours, preparing with his lubed up fingers and torturing his poor bed while he was at it. Damn! Shrek groaned and stretched out his anus as wide as possible. And he slipped in 3 fingers with some difficulty. But at least he accomplished the feat. The sound of wet, lewd, and sloppy sounds constantly rang in his ear. resulting in his schlong-donga-doodle to only get harder. And after a few minutes of vigorous thrusting, Shrek decided he was ready. Ready to fuck himself. It may sound weird, but Shrek had decided it was he who was destined to withstand his mighty ogre schlong. It was he would fuck, but also get fucked. And so Shrek grabbed his schlong-donga-doodle and bent it back more than it really should go. Wait, he's not even cloning himself. He's literally bending his big-ass Shrek penis into his own asshole? Shrek grabbed his schlong-donga-doodle and bent it back more than it really should go and caused Shrek to hiss from the pain. He kept up bending all of his schlong backwards, and when all of it was finally backwards, he started to bring to head to his entrance. His donga-doodle felt like it burst. The pain was unbearable. But Shrek was desperate, so he kept bending his dick in order to fulfill his lustful needs. And a twinge of relief surged through him, and he felt the head of his wang brush against his entrance. And he shoved it inside. Shrek groaned. The unusual feeling of his own genitals inside him slightly sickened him, but he kept shoving all of himself inside. Shrek breathed rapidly, and pressed forward. Goodness! How could anyone possibly derive pleasure from this horrible experience? Shrek breathed out in response to the uncomfortable feeling his asshole being filled. And then he hit a spot deep inside of him, something that made Shrek take back what he stated previously. Shrek moaned out in pleasure as the schlong-donga-doodle rubbed it up against his prostate. Shrek pulled his schlong-donga-doodle out slowly and then thrust it back in, aiming for that spot that caused him intense pleasure. Pain was forgotten and only pleasure was felt as Shrek used his schlong-donga-doodle like a dildo, thrusting it in and out. The only difference is that what he was using to pleasure himself was attached to himself. Oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna come! Shrek moaned out as he quickly took note of the warm feeling forming deep within his stomach. He moaned as he thrust his dong more aggressively inside of him and abused his prostate. He grunted and he felt the warm feeling slowly becoming more huge, and he gave one last thrust. And after that, he came. Hard. It was official. Shrek-ass virginity was Shrek's. That's the end. There's notes at the end. It says, notes. I thought long and hard about which words would best describe Shrek's daddy dick, but I gave up and went with schlong-donga-doodle and used that throughout most of the fic. Sorry. What are these people on when they write this shit, bro? How much pomu leaf? I need to know. I need to know. Holy fuck.